don't know what to do with myself.
Look forward to the future with your kids. And me.
Hey, I would be the first to admit that the courts aren't perfect. But every now and then, we get one right.
Big thanks to you.
You've earned this.
Oh, thank you. And thanks to you, Todd. I don't know what I'd have done if I'd not met you. And I know I can be a miserable sod at times.
Hello, Understatement Police.
The talk of the street.
Talk of the street.
The talk of the street.
Talk of the street.
The talk of the street.
Talk of the street.
The talk of the street.
Talk of the street.
Welcome to episode 375 of The Talk of the Street, an unofficial Coronation Street catch-up podcast that's seldom more disappointed than when we're not allowed to properly enjoy a plot-convenient heart attack. I'm Gavin.
And I think that the Theo and Todd couple nickname should be Toe.
So did they go where they went with Thod?
Yeah, they went with Todd.
Do you know, I think they're both equally as good.
But how good is Toe?
It'd be Teal, wouldn't it?
Yes, technically it would, but I think it's funnier when I say Toe. Because Toe. Toes are funny.
My former brother-in-law's nickname was Toe because he looked like a toe.
He does a little.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, what's his name? Kev?
No.
Oh.
No, he doesn't look like a toe.
Well, he's bald and round, which reminds me of toes.
Do I remind you of a toe?
No, because you still have hair on the sides.
That's right.
You remind
Balding.
You remind me of a badger.
Yeah, good old Toe.
Yeah.
And his big brother was called Big Toe. We're inventive, the Scots.
Right, yes. The Scots, the ones who came up with Bodie McBoatface.
And you still remember it.
I do.
Anyway, how are you this week?
I've had better. It's all right.
You've always had better weeks.
Yeah.
No week that we have had in the last 5 years has been the best week of our lives, I would say.
You know what? I was going to push back on that, but I think you might be right. Although we had some very fantastic days in Maine in the beginning of the summer.
We did. But was it better than our week in the western states?
No.
There we go.
And Chicago. Remember Chicago?
That wasn't
for your
a full
birthday?
week, though.
No, but it was a day. We had good days.
Yeah, we're not talking about days, though. We're talking about weeks, aren't we?
I mean...
I hate to be all pedantic on you, but I'm asking you, how was your week?
Right, yeah. I can't think of a single week in my whole life that was great all 7 days. So thank you for putting that in my head. I wasn't depressed enough.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm just thinking about our wedding.
That was nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a good day.
I don't know if this is a scab that we want to be picking on.
Which one?
Right. Neither were surrounded by equally great days.
Correct. But I think that's true of most weddings.
God, isn't that a depressing thought that you've never had a great week?
Where every one of the 7 days were consistently great. Yeah, that doesn't tend to happen statistically, does it?
I mean, it's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, isn't it?
Something like that.
And that's on the assumption that your week is either great or not great.
Right. Typically, it's all just average, with a few really good days sprinkled in here and there. Although, no. I mean, you are right. The 2 weeks that we were off exploring the West, I don't remember any of those days being horrible.
No, me neither.
So I guess that's the closest we've ever come to great weeks. Thank you, Dakotas and Wyoming and Montana.
That wasn't the trip I was talking about.
What other trip out west have you made?
The Colorado, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico week.
Oh. Yeah, that was That wasn't the same trip?
Nope.
I thought for sure that it was the same trip.
You may remember that we flew to Colorado.
We did fly to Colorado.
You may remember that we drove to Montana.
That's true. Okay. No, you're right. Sorry, maybe I am losing my mind. How was your week?
For the purposes of comedy, it was great.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want to dive into this shit then?
I guess we kind of have to at this point.
Fuck it. Give us some of that.
Optimistic. Corrie News. Bill Roach has revealed that he had a long-standing feud with Pat Phoenix, who played Elsie Tanner on The Cobbles.
I know!
Apparently, it all started when Phoenix said to a director that she didn't believe Elsie would have taken a berating by Ken Barlow. And Roach thought that that was unprofessional, so he refused to talk to her for 2 years.
Yeah, I wondered
after this.
if he thought that he was coming out
Looking
great.
good in this. Because he's not.
No.
He's not at all. And that the feud ended when she invited him to her birthday party 2 years afterwards.
So she was even the one that made peace.
Right. How dare a woman give an opinion to a director? How dare she?
She was interrupting his opinion.
Probably. It's like, how dare she do something that I'm not brave enough to do myself?
Yeah, and I know that you know a little of Elsie Tanner from our classics that we've watched.
Yes.
And you
A smidge.
maybe don't really know the Pat Phoenix, but what you know from Elsie Tanner and what you can infer from Pat Phoenix is like, probably what she was saying was right.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, no. I've only seen a smidge of her, and I totally agree. Elsie Tanner's not taking any guff from Ken Barlow because she said a mean thing about Val. How dare she say a mean thing about another woman, Ken Barlow's woman?
Seems to me that one William Roach was taking the criticism a smidge too personally.
Yes.
Criticise the writing, not the person.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I read that. I thought it was...
Ridiculous.
I can't wait to find out what this...
Right, what this huge feud was
what the
about.
event was. And it was like, oh, she was perfectly reasonable. Okay.
Right, yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. Actors are allowed to give notes to directors. Directors don't have to always follow them, but they're allowed to give notes.
Actors are a strange breed, though, Helen, aren't they?
I mean, when you're talking about somebody like Jim Carrey or Randy Quaid, yes.
I was thinking Crispin Glover.
Oh, or Crispin Glover, yes. Yes. That's one thing.
A strange breed.
But a sensible English woman who is making a sensible suggestion about a character she's playing so she knows very well.
Oh, no, I was referring to William Roach as being a strange breed.
Yes. Well.
Maybe we should move on.
Yeah. He was just being an asshole. I don't think he's crazy like those other three men that we talked about. Anyway, Jack P. Shepard has revealed bosses wanted to kill David Platt off as a teenager. But then he did this scene with Gail where he did something different with the character. He wasn't like yelling at her and storming off up the stairs of doom. Or are they stairs of destiny? I can't remember.
Oh, no, it's the alleyway of doom. It's the stairs of discovery.
Oh, yes. Storming up the stairways of discovery. But instead, he chose to play the scene straight and calm. And you knew what kind of straight I was talking about.
Yeah, I know, but let's imagine not that. He was going to play it. No, it's fine.
Anyway, apparently this was the right decision because people are like, oh no, he actually can act. And so they kept him in. They changed their mind. The script had already been written, killing David off.
Wow.
And they changed their mind and said, no, it's fine. We'll keep you.
He was always a great actor, though. He was great as a wee boy.
Yeah. Well, apparently the writers didn't think so.
He was the Chesney of his day.
That's not a compliment.
Chesney was great as a wee boy. He was the Sam of his day.
Sam is still good. Yeah.
As good, though.
I think a lot of the problems that we have with some characters not an acting problem.
No,
it's a writing
I absolutely
problem.
agree.
And finally, before we dig our holes even deeper,
Holes.
what is wrong with you tonight?
I'm so sleepy.
First, Colson Smith, and now Jonathan Howard's car has been broken into, and a bag of items, including his jiu-jitsu gi, was stolen. I blame ninjas.
Jiu-jitsu gi?
Yeah, that's the belt.
The butter? Oh.
Yeah, GI, not GHEE. Wow. And apparently, some of the ladies of Coronation Street had a whip round and collected enough money for him to get a new gi. So, good for him.
Who was this?
The dude who plays Carl.
Oh,
Jonathan Howard. I almost said Jonathan Bailey, and I'm like, Jonathan Bailey is not on Coronation Street.
Not yet, anyway.
Not ever. Can you imagine going from Wicked and Jurassic Park Rebirth to Coronation Street?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know Ian McKellen basically did that a couple of times. You know, stepped down from his wizardly pedestal to deign to appear on the street. But as much as I admire Jonathan Bailey, he ain't no Ian McKellen.
I think Ian McKellen's Corrie time was before his stint as Gandalf.
Well, yes, but he was already a well-known actor.
Oh, sure.
And a famous actor. That's kind of what I was
Very much so. I get you.
Yeah. In my top 10 of gay actors, I think Jonathan Bailey would be like 11.
You have a list of gay actors?
And Ian McKellen would be number 1, obviously. Because I love him very much.
Yeah. Not feeling the love for Kevin Spacey here.
Were you expecting it?
The number of times I've said that sentence.
And that's Corrie News.
A wonderful bulletin of Corrie News. Thank you, Helen. And it leads us beautifully, as always, into our feedback section that I like to call Everyone's a Critic. I think it speaks volumes about the quality of this week's show when we have very little in the mailbag to talk about. Dead Deer writes, I think it's odd that Jack hasn't visited Uncle Tyrone to reassure him about leg injuries and their long-term effects, i.e. none.
That is an excellent point.
That made me laugh.
An excellent point.
And then Ian Les Paul writes, I went to send you a package as I know you love real mail. What gave you that idea?
We do, especially packages.
But then got told I need to pay a tariff up front and give a lot of information, including shoe size, inside leg measurements, etc., etc. Also, I had to go home and apply online. Pissed me off, if I'm honest, so poor old Helen may be waiting for our Canadian comestibles for a while. Sorry.
Ah, boo.
Blame your president.
Yes, although the Canadian Post is on strike again. Did you see that?
I didn't.
Yeah, so I don't think even if somebody paid the tariffs. And would there be tariffs on a gift? I don't think there should be a tariff on a gift. It's not something we're
Ian gave me
buying.
a link for further reading, which I confess I have not further read. But it seemed to go into the ins and outs of the new tariff system.
Yeah.
So here we have a working example of how tariffs work.
Right.
Ian is asked to pay a tariff to send us goods. He refuses to pay that. We don't get the goods. The alternative is that Ian sends us the goods, but then
we have to pay the tariff.
we have to pay the tariff.
Yeah.
Or
in order to get it.
Or we sell those goods on to Stelly and we charge her the tariff to make the tariff back.
Yeah.
That's economics in a nutshell, isn't it?
Yeah. Where exactly in Canada is Ian Les Paul?
Oh.
Because I was going to say, you could just drive over the border and post it in Detroit, or we could drive over the border and meet you in Windsor and get our chocolate. I
don't know that Ian is that desperate to get things to us, which I'm absolutely cool with. And it's also an assumption that he lives in like Sarnia or something like that. And
right.
I'm going to guess that he doesn't.
Yeah, I'm very saddened, and
but don't
I just want to be on the record, and I don't think this is going to surprise anybody. I didn't vote for him.
No. But it should give you at least some comfort that at least someone is considering to send you some Canadian food.
Yes.
That's worth something, right?
That's nice.
Thank you, Ian.
Thank you, Ian. It's the thought that counts.
And thank you to Didier as well for their feedback and correspondence this week. It's very much appreciated. And it's always welcome. Send us your thoughts. I'll probably read them out. Get us at thetalkofthestreet@gmail.com, or DMs are open at Corrie Podcast. Oh, we love it. Oh, that's where he gets the idea from.
We love it.
We love it when people write actual letters to us. Send us your proper mail to The Talk of the Street, P.O. Box 12, Eaton Rapids, Michigan, 48827. Please note that we reserve the right to edit feedback, but only in the interest of brevity. And you looked at the postcard
I did.
to give me a row for not putting the other postcards up, but I
No,
have.
no, I knew that they were there. I was just thinking, I looked back at it because I was going to say, oh, hey, and we've started to put your postcards up on the poster board.
It's looking good.
And it's looking great. So,
But we have plenty of space left on it.
yes, we do. We need to put some of the cards up there too, like the snowman.
No.
Snowman card.
No.
Where's the snowman card?
It is postcards only.
Oh, it wasn't a snowman. It was Santa in a Hawaiian shirt. Because Christmas in Australia is in the summertime. They don't have snowmen in the summertime.
I'm not sure they have snowmen in the winter time either.
It does get cold there.
I don't know that it snows.
Probably not.
It's a desert.
You've never seen snow in the desert before?
I think famously deserts are kind of dry places. That's what makes them a desert.
Yeah.
It's not the heat.
No.
It's the dryness.
Right. Although I think it does occasionally snow in like Death Valley or the Sahara, like in the northern Africa. But I could be wrong about that. I often am.
Yeah, you're just making it up as you're going along now. All right, and we will now. Aren't we all just making it up as we're going along, though?
I mean, that's how I do this podcast.
That's how I do this podcast.
No, you write notes.
Yeah, but I don't watch anything. Any resemblance to what I say and what actually happened in the show is purely coincidental. And on that note, we'll podcast for coffee. Thank you to Ali Q for our coffees this week.
Sorry, I was sipping my iced tea. Yes, thank you very much.
Ali writes, coffee for you and all you do. I enjoyed a recent deep dive into the old episodes. Extra happiness should always be rewarded. So thank you from Ali Q. Be glad that I didn't opt for Irish Ali. I quite like Irish Ali.
Yeah, we have an Australian alley, so why not an Irish one?
In fact, I think I'm tempted to change your name again to Irish Ali Q. Well, that's difficult.
But
that's difficult to say, isn't it?
Yeah, and if she prefers Alley Q to
Who
Irish,
am I?
Yeah, who are you? Who are you? Hey,
Hey, look at us.
look at us.
Every day now, in my team meeting, I say that.
Does everybody in your team know where it comes from, or is this like bossa nova?
Some of them do. Did I tell you about the Bossa Nova guy?
Yes.
Did I tell these people about the Bossa Nova guy?
I don't remember.
So we've got this external consultant who phones into these meetings every week. And it just so happened that me and him were on and another couple of people, and we were just shooting the shit, and I asked him what his thoughts on Bossa Nova were, which kind of caught him by surprise.
Because we were in a deep dive with bossa nova at the time on our other podcast, The List of Lists.
But then he came back the next week and he'd listened to some Bossa Nova, and he quite liked it.
Yes. Who doesn't like bossa nova? It's just happy music.
It's good.
It's very good.
That's still, although I was listening to very aggressive heavy metal today. Thank you, Ali, for the coffees. We very much appreciate it. I'm drinking my peach tea, peace tea.
Nice.
Always a favourite for the podcast.
Yes.
And you have already spoiled it. You're drinking iced tea.
Yes, unsweetened iced tea. My favorite.
The Talk of the Street is and will always be free on your podcast provider and on the YouTubes. But if you think our show is worth anything more than the time it takes to listen to it, and if you want to show your appreciation, or if you want more weekly and monthly content, here's your options. Sign up to be a friend of the podcast for as little as $2 a month. You can sign up at patreon.com/the Talk of the Street. Ko-fi.com, that's ko-fi.com/the Talk of the Street. Or hit the join button on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/the Talk of the Street podcast. Friends of the podcast get access to our weekly spoiler show, the Talk of the Street Spoiler Alert, and our weekly monthly classic Corrie show, the Talk of the Street Classics. And our October Classics episode will be out on October 1st, and it is scheduled and just waiting to drop.
That's Wednesday, right?
I think so.
Okay.
This Wednesday, we will...
No, wait, it's Friday.
No,
No,
you're right, it's Wednesday.
Yeah. I was thinking of something else.
Like dates?
Hey, let's not forget. Look at us.
Hey.
Let's not forget. Let's not forget who went to her doctor's appointment a week early last week.
That would be you.
That would be me.
Yeah, it drops on Wednesday. We're talking about episode 970. This is the episode where David dies off screen in Australia.
And not David Platt, the other David.
David Barlow.
Yes.
I think it's a great episode of ours talking about the classic show. So if that remotely is interesting to you, then feel free to sign up to be a friend of the podcast.
Friend of the podcast.
And I'll hit that button.
Yes.
And if that wasn't enough, you can also get a shout out at the end of every podcast and your name on the credits of the main show. And if you prefer something a little less formal, you can also buy us next week's coffee by going to ko-fi.com, ko-fi.com/the Talk of the Street. All our links can be found at linktree/Corrie Podcast. But remember, you can always support the podcast for free. Get us in front of new listeners by liking, subscribing, rating, and reviewing wherever you get your podcasts. Shall we dive in, Medea?
Yes, please.
Our first storyline this week, first out of 7. It's Theo No Sleeves. We left Theo in a foul mood last week, so he's in a brilliant mood now, and he's cheerfully making breakfast for Todd, who seems very confused by Theo's seesawing emotions. Theo apologises for his behaviour and promises it won't happen again. Todd says he'll check before throwing a party with his friends in his own flat in future. At the court, Todd is allowed to sit in because Theo is finding out today if he's going to get access to his kids. Those fucking kids.
Those fucking kids.
Dee Dee recommends everyone keeps calm. Keep calm. During the questioning, Danielle's lawyer is quizzing Theo about his violent tendencies while Noah whispers his opinions into Todd's ear about Theo being a disgusting monster and a deviant. Todd reacts badly and ends up getting chucked out of the court. Noah has a cheeky wee wank under the table to celebrate. Back home, Summer thinks this is hilarious and reckons Theo must be fuming. But when Theo comes home, he announces that he gets to see his kids who hate him. Huzzah!
Huzzah!
And he claims not to be fussed whatsoever about Todd's outburst and says he's proud and he loved that Todd obviously cares.
Yes.
Todd doesn't look like he's buying it.
No. And he remains scared that whole episode. He remains uncomfortable that whole time.
He does.
With Theo, and it makes me sad.
Yeah. Those lingering looks on Todd at the end of the scenes when you'd expect him to be smiling or...
Right.
And he's just kind of either blank or...
So frowny.
Yeah.
And it just pulls his whole face down. It makes me sad.
It really does.
Oh.
So they go to the bistro to celebrate, but then Noah comes in to gloat because Danielle is planning on appealing the decision. Theo keeps calm, tells Noah that him and his opinion mean nothing to him, so jog on. Noah does indeed jog on. Then Summer and Dee Dee join them later to help celebrate, and Theo says he doesn't know what he would have done without Todd, who has shown him how to be happy. Theo's nipped off for a shite, and when he comes back, a teary Danielle bursts into the bistro, asking what they did to her beloved Noah because he dead. So, let's just imagine people have gone out for lunch.
Right.
And they have an altercation with a man.
Right.
Who then leaves.
And goes home.
While they're still having their lunch.
Right.
That man's partner comes in to announce that the man is dead.
Right. Of a heart attack.
There's nothing else going on for Danielle right at the minute. She can spend time leaving dead Noah wherever he's collapsed.
Right.
To go to the bistro to shout at people.
Right. Thinking that they caused his heart attack or something. These are just two gay men living on Coronation Street. They're not like the CIA or something.
Or are they?
We're so going to get a phone tap for this.
Oh, just as well we never use our phone.
Not for making phone calls, at least.
When our landline rings, everyone in the living room just stares at it until it stops.
It's like it's a ghost.
I know.
It's terrifying. It's like, what ghost is calling us today? Because we don't give that number out.
I couldn't tell you what that number is.
No, we don't give that number out. I mistakenly put it on one form for, I think, our old dentist at one point, and then they kept calling it, and I kept not answering it because it's the ghost phone.
Nobody answers that phone.
No, it is only there in a case of emergency when we lose power and need a landline.
No, it's only there because it's impossible to remove it from the Comcast package.
Well, that too, but the whole reason why we put it on the Comcast package is for emergencies.
So, Noah's dead off screen.
Yeah.
You think he's dead?
I'm assuming so. It's weird that Danielle would rush over here. You'd think that...
Very strange.
She would have called an ambulance first.
She should be busy right now.
Right, and then gone with the ambulance to the hospital where he would have been declared dead and, taking care of his affairs and stuff. Although they are just dating, so she may not be next of kin.
But still, these things take time, and she should really be at the hospital. She should.
One would think. Well, maybe she went to the hospital and then she ran over to the bistro from the hospital. I don't know. It is weird, though, because when we did Spoiler Alert last week, I mentioned that Danielle rushes in with important news about Noah, which shocks Theo and Todd. And I was like, oh, this is going to be really interesting. She's going to out him and say that he's always been in love with Theo, and that he is also a homosexual.
Because that's where the story was heading.
Because yeah. So I was not at all expecting the surprise about Noah to be death.
No. And if Noah was to die, and don't get me wrong, I'm thrilled that he is. But
If he is.
Well, I think he is. On Monday I wasn't sure. Now I think I'm fairly sure. So sure that I added him to the 2025 in memoriam.
Oh, nice. How long is that? That can't be that long. It's just Coulson.
There's 4.
There's 4. Oh, Coulson, Mason, Noah, and who's the last one?
Julie Carp.
Oh, that's right. We were indignant about that.
And I remain indignant about it in my hilarious captions.
Excellent.
Thank you.
I'm not on Twitter, so I'll never see it. Unless you posted it on Blue Sky as well.
I will end up posting it on Blue Sky.
Excellent. And I will share it on Blue Sky.
Also excellent.
Yes.
I was just disappointed that we didn't get to see it.
Right. Yeah. We got to see Nigel Havers have a heart attack. Remember that?
We got to see Hasham have a heart attack.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
That was my favourite heart attack.
He had a heart attack like Bugs Bunny.
His heart momentarily pounded out of his chest in a heart shape.
Right. You remind me of Sanford from Sanford and Son going, I'm coming, Elizabeth!
And then shattered. And then his eyes turned to crosses, and that was that. We were glad that he was dead as well.
And then he walked into a cameraman.
So, the paramedics have said it was a heart attack. You don't give someone a heart attack, you stupid bitch, says Dee Dee. Danielle thinks this is all her fault.
Unless you're the CIA.
But Theo is in a really positive frame of mind, says that everyone just wanted the best for the kids, and none of this is her fault. Todd seems very uncomfortable through all this. Back home, Theo is in more of a modelling mood, because Noah was his friend, his best friend for most of his life.
Right, and then, became his deepest enemy, whose last words to him was, you disgust me.
He thinks he'll miss him, and he starts pinging himself with his rubber band again. Todd kind of tuts at this, gives him a pair of scissors, and Theo cuts the band rather than just take it off. Theo tells Todd he better not leave him, and that's sinister as fuck.
Yes.
I think I was expecting there to be some debate over who killed Noah, and there doesn't seem to be any debate over it.
Because he died of a heart attack.
And Theo was taking a shite when this was happening.
Right, he was
Todd was sitting at the table with Dee Dee, and they were in
the bistro
chance,
the whole time.
right?
Yeah.
That if anyone has been responsible for it, it would probably be Danielle.
Right. Or maybe, it wasn't a heart attack. Maybe it was a broken heart when Theo said, I don't give a fuck what you say anymore. Mm-hmm. And that broke Noah's
That's what
heart.
did it.
Yeah. Or it was the CIA.
I think I'm going to go with the CIA.
Okay.
On Wednesday.
The Royals have people killed occasionally in this way too,
Oh,
don't
sure.
they?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. They slip pills that will kill you but make it look like a heart attack. That exists, right?
Yeah, they get drivers drunk and in Parisian hotels and whatever. Should we move on?
I think we'd better.
Yeah.
Because now two very powerful groups are going to be mad at us.
It's a fight to the death between the CIA and the royal family to see which of them can cancel our podcast. Theo is on the phone to Danielle on Wednesday trying to console her. Todd pretends that he isn't listening. After the call, Theo is still struggling to get his head around all this and says that he'll go to see Danielle later, which is something he thinks Todd would do in his shoes. I think, what would Todd do? And Todd would do this.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
says Todd.
Maybe. I found it very interesting because the way Todd is listening, and the way we at home are listening, it could be Millie he's talking to.
Mm-hmm.
And I would assume that that's what Todd thinks because he's walked into the room halfway through this conversation. And it's not until he says Danielle's name on the phone that Todd's face changes, as does mine.
He speaks very lovingly about her.
Calling
or to
her sweetheart and love and all this bullshit.
So Todd goes to the pub and talks to Maria about how little of a fuck he cares about Noah being dead and how weird it is that Theo's upset about it, given the abuse. Maria thinks it's complicated. Theo comes in and overhears Todd saying that Noah being dead is good news. Is it that simple? Asks Theo. But Todd sticks to his guns and says that he won't be shedding any tears for Noah. Theo is upset and so leaves. Then on Friday, Theo gets a call that Millie and Miles will be visiting later, and he gets miffed when Todd doesn't really give a shit one way or the other. Theo wants Todd to help tidy the already tidy flat, and then gives Todd a hard time for being a bit of a porker again. Miles and Millie arrive,
And let's not forget, that morning he had made him sausage.
Miles and Millie arrive and, well, you know. Theo is rubbish, so Todd goes off for Vietnamese food, and the food's a bit of a hit, but Miles and Millie aren't the most chatty. Millie says that they're only there because the court said so, and then she goes to hide in the toilet, and she plans to stay there until it's time to leave. But Miles needs a shite, so Theo agrees to take them both home, so Millie comes out without flushing. When Theo comes back, he makes a big deal about Todd not asking if Millie's okay. Todd says he isn't surprised, as once again she's been allowed to walk all over him with no consequences. Theo doesn't think that Todd's in any position to give parenting advice and doesn't count Summer in this.
Right, yeah. He's like, she had 3 dads. Technically she had 4, but one died well before.
Mm-hmm. Fed up, Todd decides to go to the pub and hang out with George, but when Theo catches wind of this, he's suddenly very apologetic, agrees that he could take a sterner position with Millie because, well, you know, and then guilts Todd into staying in with him after all.
Ugh.
In the pub, George is disappointed that Todd stood him up, and Christina reveals that she saw something flash in that Theo's eyes at the flat warming the other day, and there's something about him that she just doesn't trust.
And she would know because she's been around shady people her whole life.
She's a con woman herself.
She's a shady woman herself. Yes.
And that's as far as we get with that this week.
I'm glad that someone has noticed this and has voiced it.
Mm-hmm.
Am I glad that it's Christina? I mean, beggars can't be choosers.
Well, she's got George's ear.
It's true. That's true. But to use George's ear to exhibit concern for Todd's well-being, is that really something Christina would do?
I don't know that she's showing concern for Todd more than she's showing a kind of distrust for Theo. That's her main driver.
Right, but why would she express this distrust openly? You know. It kind of feels like she's a bit softer than she was the last time she was in the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's intentional or if it's part of the con or what. But
You still have the opinion that she's on the con?
I mean, she's got form.
She has. I don't think there was any evidence of it this week, perhaps. No. And she did seem genuinely upset about Dom being dead. For a while, at least, anyway.
Right. And George has given her a job. she's going to be a cleaner, which is not a job that I ever thought I would see Christina do.
No, that doesn't work.
Yeah. What is she going to steal while she's cleaning? Is there a gold-lined coffin somewhere or urn in that?
Yeah, Robert's in it.
Is this how we're finally going to give Robert a funeral?
That would be hilarious if Christina's cleaning out the back and finds Robert's cadaver in the freezer.
Or Robert's ashes in the closet right next to where Pat Phelan's were. I'm sure it happens all the time that funeral homes cremate people and then those urns are just never picked up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that happens.
Must do.
I mean, people have found urns and ashes at like Goodwill. So,
oh God, really?
Yeah. So there are certain people who just do not give a crap about their deceased relatives in their urns, or just don't even know that that's what that is.
I think there's maybe a separation when somebody dies that what's in this urn doesn't really represent their loved one at all. It's just literally ashes. It's just future dust.
That's when you say, okay, I think the time has come to scatter these and recycle the urn.
Right.
Yeah.
Good to see Millie and Miles back.
No.
They're just awful, aren't they? Aren't they just awful?
And I mean, it felt like it was all Millie, didn't it?
Mm-hmm,
that
mostly.
Miles was more or less cool with it.
Or
but
was he
just
being
kind
sarcastic?
Or was just possibly, but you know, he's not the one who locked himself in the bathroom. And he never said he wanted to go. But he just went along with Millie because if Millie's going home now, I guess I might as well go home now too.
Well, poor Miles never got to go for his shit because Millie comes out the bathroom and then they leave.
Right. That's not
well,
very
hello,
fair.
I'm still needing here.
Yeah.
I'm still touching cloth.
Poor Miles. He's obviously no one's favorite.
It's such a childish act, though, by this
Locking yourself in the bathroom.
by this girl who just a few months ago was pretending to be pregnant.
Which was also immature.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Maybe I do get why Theo is somewhat overprotective of her, but
Yeah, because he and Danielle have coddled that child her whole life. And she's never had a consequence
she just
in that time.
gets up and goes into the bog, and that's it. I'm not coming out until it's time to go home.
You're going to sleep in there? Fine.
Right.
We'll just go downstairs. We'll just go downstairs to the corner shop or across the street to the Rovers to poop.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would have done.
Come on, Miles, we're going to a strip club.
The Rovers is a strip club now?
Only on a Tuesday between the hours of 1 p.m. and 4 p.m.
That's when they bring out the pole. And Steve.
Oh no, Steve's stripping again. Poor Todd, though.
Yeah, I don't like it.
There's something about that last shot of Theo in his chair with his can of beer. Just, I thought we could maybe just stay in. We're always better when it's just the two of us. Mm-hmm. And then basically wears Todd down, and Theo's just sitting there, kind of smug. Not exactly showing it, but not hiding it
Nah,
either.
true.
I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. All right, we'll move on to our next storyline, The Lonely Grave of Toyah Wardley. On Monday, Becky hasn't heard her phones, so turns up at number 6 to tell everyone she's moved out of her hotel and is now renting somewhere. That was quick, wasn't it, Helen?
Somewhere close.
She needs help moving stuff, so Betsy volunteers Swain.
Because Betsy is working that day, as is Carla and Ryan.
Yeah, so find somebody else to do this then.
Right, yes. Somebody who, I don't know, doesn't know that you're secretly a dead person.
Or go back to Spain.
Yeah. Get Costello to help you, since you two are in cahoots.
Yeah.
We don't get any Costello this week.
No, and I'm really disappointed with the way this part of the storyline's been playing out. I was disappointed last week when we only got minimal Costello,
Yeah.
and none of what he was saying was remotely believable, but Swain obviously believed it. And then we get nothing to update it this week. It's a bit of a shame. So yeah, Carol's unimpressed, as you said. So on the drive to wherever Becky lives, Becky is trying to worm her way back into Swain's good books with chocolate mice. But then their car breaks down. I thought it was a Freshco's car park, but it
They
turns out
are
it's at the precinct, wasn't it?
I thought it was Freshco's car park too, because the bags were from Freshco's that Becky comes in with, and also that doesn't look like the parking area at the precinct. What is up with chocolate mice? What's up with that?
I wasn't aware there was anything up with chocolate mice.
Why do they exist? Why are they popular? Are they popular?
I don't know.
'Cause you can't get a chocolate mouse here. People would be like, that's gross.
You get gummy worms, though.
Yeah, that's different.
Why?
Because they're brightly colored and fun.
This is made of chocolate.
Yeah, but it's in the shape of a mouse.
White chocolate.
Yeah, we don't get chocolate mice. We do get chocolate crosses for Easter, though. These
That's not terrifying at all.
lends new meaning to the body of Christ.
But then the car breaks down, and Becky makes jokes about things dying and coming back to life, and Swain is not ready or
Yeah.
amused by this.
Too soon, she says. Too soon.
And she calls Carla to let her know that she's going to be late. And when questioned about this by Ryan, Carla admits that she's a bit jelly of all this, and that she trusts Swain, but she doesn't trust that Becky one little bit.
Nope.
Back in the car, Becky wants to reminisce about a Whigfield concert the two of them went to, but Swain thinks they're a million miles away from being able to do this. Becky says she gave up everything for Swain, and the least she could do is be grateful for that.
Fuck you.
And I was like, wait a minute, this is taking a turn. So for a week and a bit, you're going to pretend to be Olive and she wasn't even for a week and a bit like that.
No.
She was having digs left and right about Swain, going on and on and on. Okay, so I faked my death.
Yeah.
Big deal. You're going to go
So
on about this
what?
forever?
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Yes.
Yes, I am.
Yes. And, Swain rightly points out, this wasn't in the police guidebook. This does not happen all the time, because Becky makes it seem like this is something that is asked of police officers all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That this is par for the course for police officers.
Tinker, fake your own death. Yes, Gov. Did a good job of it as well. Did such a good job. They cremated him.
Yes. So I don't know. It does feel very gaslighty to be saying, "Oh, you should be grateful that I pretended to die and added trauma to both you and our daughter's lives."
Yeah, she says that she went through more than Swain did because she had the curse of the truth.
Right, and also at least Swain had Betsy.
And Swain, for some unknown fucking reason, she starts to give a bit of credit to Becky. And Swain says that she was too angry to see things from Becky's side. No, you were perfectly
you're-
right not to see things from Becky's side.
Exactly.
Then Becky reveals that she knew Swain was engaged thanks to social media, and she admits that this was maybe another reason why she came back. So not just for Betsy's 18th after all, or to get her hands on Betsy's trust.
Which is standing fairly empty at the moment because of Carla's kidney.
Right. She says that she'll never stop loving Swain. But then Betsy and Carla roll up with a can of petrol.
Yep.
There was a great post on Twitter that says, yes, this is exactly what you want to do when your previously dead mother, who's in hiding or whatever, or is worried that some gang's going to kill all of you. Just roll up in the car, tooting your horn, waving a can of petrol. What
Yep.
could possibly go wrong?
Yep.
Right, let's get you all home. So
Yes.
they go to the pub where Carla wishes Roy a happy birthday, but he's still got sand in his vagina about the whole Becky thing. Swain wonders what's wrong when Carla seems down in the dumps. Carla explains the day from her perspective, that her girlfriend spent the day all cosy with her wife. Swain points out that Carla isn't her girlfriend, she's her fiancée, and isn't sure she trusts Becky. Carla wonders what will happen if Becky's story stacks up. Let's not think about that, says Swain, as she gets a text with a chocolate mouse. On Wednesday...
Whose favorite chocolate is a chocolate mouse? Because they act like, oh, when Swain wants chocolate, this is what she wants. Of all the millions of different chocolate-based things in the United Kingdom, it's a non-branded chocolate mouse.
This is giving you severe problems, isn't it?
It does. What? Coronation...
Like a chocolate jobby would have have similar problems.
It's just, does Coronation Street not have enough money to put a sponsored product in that car?
That's what those chocolate mice look like.
Well, I understand that, but why could it be like, oh, I don't know, an Aero bar or a Cadbury? There's like a million different Cadburys it could be. You'd think that they would want to do some product placement.
We don't talk about Cadbury on the Coronation Street shows. That's a sore point. Cadbury used to sponsor Coronation Street, and they don't anymore.
Ah, okay. Well, that explains that, but there are other brands of chocolate in the United Kingdom. Get some of that sweet, sweet advertisement product placement money instead of just a weird mouth-shaped chocolate that doesn't look appetizing at all, because it's white chocolate to begin with. And also...
I like a bit of white chocolate.
Not shaped like a mouse, though.
I don't care what shape it is, it's chocolate.
Because white mice think...
I'm eating it. It's going to come out looking like a shit. I don't care.
Everything comes out looking like a shit.
Well, there you go.
Because that's what it is.
So why does it matter?
Because when you think white mice, you think like it has been experimented on and has lots of different chemicals that are probably going to kill you.
When I think of an actual white mouse, that's what I think of. But when I think of a chocolate white mouse, I think of chocolate. And really, up till now, I didn't think of anything.
And just to assure folks, we have white chocolate crosses as well as the dark chocolate and the milk chocolate crosses.
Yeah, everyone was worried about that.
Everyone was worried about that.
On Wednesday, Betsy intends to skip college so she can hang out with Becky. Swain isn't impressed by this. Have you any idea how hard this is on me, says Betsy, who never misses a trick. So Swain just lets it slide. So Betsy takes Becky to the precinct, and immediately Becky tries to pretend that she's a valid option for a mum and tells Betsy to knock the teenage tearaway shite on the head. You can fucking suck on both my balls if you think you can talk to me like that, says Betsy.
Correctly.
And she storms off.
Correctly.
And I have never agreed with Betsy more than I've agreed with her right there.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's like Becky does not know how to talk to a teenager at all.
No.
And I mean, Swain's not good at it either. But she's better than Becky.
Yeah, Becky's dreadful.
Yeah.
Imagine picking that moment.
Right.
The moment where you're trying to get to know your daughter again.
Right.
And you cast this up.
Right.
And you threaten her.
That time that you stole a van like 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm. She's been up to all manners of shit in between times.
Right, yeah. And she's also done some good things in between. You know? And, yeah, ask your kid questions. Don't, start with condemning them for things that you were not involved in and have no context for. Not that it's right. Not that it's okay to steal a van. And Becky has no self-awareness that a lot of Betsy's behavioral issues is because she lost her mom. Mm-hmm. And she freaks out and is worried that Swain's going to be murdered as well. A lot, this kid has so much PTSD from her mother supposedly being murdered. And Becky just does not seem to be self-aware enough to grasp that.
And just makes matters worse.
Right, yeah, which is one of the reasons why I got very angry when they were in the car and Becky said, "Oh, you had it easy." Like, you have no idea what it's like to raise a grieving child. Go fuck yourself.
There you go.
Stay dead.
Wise words. Yes, stay dead indeed. Becky goes back to number 6 looking for Betsy. Carla takes the opportunity to tell Becky that if she really cared, she'd go back to being dead, which is what you just said.
Correct.
Becky is unimpressed and leaves to continue her search for my daughter, she says. Well, sure, who cares? You've had this child in your custody for like an hour and you've already lost her. Great job, ass.
Right, yeah. And also, she's 18.
Her search is fruitless, so she appears back at number 6 and has to explain the run-in that she had with Betsy to Swain. Becky wanted there to be a place for her in Betsy's life, but they feel like strangers. That's because you are strangers.
Right.
Swain seems to be sympathetic to this and offers to make a cuppa for the two of them because she's an idiot.
Yes.
Betsy eventually gets home and is sick to see Becky there. She tells her to leave, but on her way out, Becky gives her a batch of birthday cards that she wrote but never sent, probably because she only bought them earlier this afternoon.
Right, yes. And also, were there 4 of them there? It looked like only 2.
Oh, I thought there was a big pile of them.
There's like a close-up of it when we go to commercial, and it looks like there's just like 2 cards.
Yeah, because I only started to do this thing after year 1, and then I forgot year 3. Sorry.
Right, yeah.
And unfucking believably, this seems to work. So Becky's chopping up veg for dinner when Carla comes home and is very unimpressed by this domestic scene.
Rightly so.
Are Swain and Carla headed for Splitsville?
I think so. And I don't know how the Swarla heads are gonna take it when it happens.
Well, I think they're going to take it badly.
Yes. Yes.
And I think I'm going to take it badly as well, because I hate this. Because we just get some happiness, and we got the proposal, and it was, I guess, kind of lovely, even though there was too much using public funds to celebrate this union. It was like, what, a couple of days later, and it all just starts to fall to pieces. I was like, God, give these guys a break. And also, because it feels like it was generated out of social media posts, I don't know that this has the same heft that it would have if, for example, Becky wasn't dead, she was just living abroad, and then she comes back. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just, the whole return has been so contrived that the rekindling of a relationship where the other person in that relationship has faked their own death,
Yes.
and hidden from you for 4 years,
Yes.
could in any universe get when an apology for that could be accepted. Just seems very, very unlikely. And if they wanted to go down this way, well, first of all, they've made a mistake killing Becky off.
Right.
But they either need to make the way that Becky worms her way back into their life more significant and more believable than a couple of birthday cards and some chocolate mice.
Right. And her just bursting into the house like Kramer on Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm.
Just, boom and whoa, here I am. Disrupting your lives. Being ridiculous. Setting my expectations too high.
Wearing a cardigan. Becky at least seems to have a change of clothes now. She's still wearing that jacket, but she had a new top, so good for her.
Yeah. Same color though.
Been treating herself.
She's very monotone in her style choices. It's like she is the polar opposite of Carla, which makes you wonder how Swain and Becky got together in the first place.
I was thinking the exact same thing. I don't see it.
I don't see it. No. And I do know. I mean, they've made a big deal about the whole hair thing, that Swain never liked Becky's hair short.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if her hair was longer, would that relationship be more believable? I don't know. But I look at the two of them and I'm like, there's no way these two people got together. What, did they only get together because they were the only lesbians in the police force?
Mm-hmm.
Or the only lesbians in Manchester? I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, I agree. I hope they don't split up, but I think they're going to for at least a little while.
Yeah.
And I don't blame Carla for wanting to be
No.
away from this, because she didn't sign up for this shit.
Right.
But she does. If anything, this proves Carla's love for Swain.
Yeah.
And I think vice versa.
Because she's been swallowing an awful lot of this shit.
She has.
And not complaining. And then just being very targeted in her
biting her tongue.
complaints.
Mm-hmm. And only really confronting Becky when the two of them are on their own. Which seemed like the right thing to do as well. There's no point getting anybody else upset about this. But
Right.
it's important for Carla that Becky knows exactly how she feels.
Right.
And what she's thinking. And she was left in no doubt of that this week. Alright, let's move on to Sucks to be a Webster. How do I feel about this week?
Meh.
Not great.
No. We do get some James action, though. But no naked James action.
On Monday, Abby was late home last night, apparently because she was out with Wendy Flaming Crozier, who just does not know how to shut up.
Right, especially when she's drinking sherry.
Kev doesn't doubt it for a second. He gets a text that he claims is from Tyrone, but it's clearly not. Abby meets up with Carl in his room at the Rape Hotel and she quizzes him about how he managed to get Tracy to drop her demands. Carl beats around the bush but ends up saying that he begged and cried about it and Tracy took pity. But when Abby mentions this to Tracy later at the florist, she disabuses Abby of this pish and explains that Carl threatened to kill Ken and also trashed the florist. She warns Abby that Carl is a nasty piece of work and no mistake.
And that's pretty intense coming from Tracy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a different side to Tracy.
Yeah. Right. She suddenly remembered that she and Abby are friends. Mm-hmm. And she's also realized she does not want Carl sexually. So.
Because he tried to kill Ken.
Right.
Or threatened to.
You tried to kill Kenny. You bastards. Respect my 30. Hey, you gay. All right. That's
enough.
That's enough.
Enough.
That's enough. Enough.
I'm not fat. I'm festively plump.
The thing that gets me about this story the most is the amount of time that Abby spends going backwards and forwards to that bloody hotel room.
Seriously.
Jeez.
You'd think she would have been caught by now.
Right. Abby goes back to the hotel to have this out with Carl, who eventually admits it, but says that he did it for Abby, for them, and he wouldn't have really killed Ken much. He's a lover, not a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Abby gets him to promise that he'll never do that again, and he promises.
Aw.
She falls for it, but then he gets a call from James, but Abby doesn't suspect that the two of them are shagging.
Not yet, anyway.
When Abby gets home, Kev says that he lied about getting a text from Tyrone. Abby can't remember anything about this conversation, but apparently it's an appointment from the hospital to check to see if the cancer came back, and Kev was just too scared to tell her. It's also reminded Kev of all the lies that he told Abby. She remembers that she's supposed to be angry about this, but says, hey, we all make mistakes. On Wednesday, Kev is in a mood as he searches for his car keys, but Abby has them, and Kev insists that he's the one who drives. It's just a checkup, insists everyone, but Kev wants everyone to stop fussing, so Abby makes tentative arrangements with Carl to get her hold at the hotel later, but puts Kev's news first. Kev is prepared for bad news, but when the doctor arrives, it's good news.
Woohoo!
The cancer is still gone. Belter, says Kev.
That doctor. It's like he comes into this teeny tiny room where they're sitting and waiting for him.
A cupboard. Mm-hmm.
Like his office or something, and not like, an examination room or anything. And he says hello, and then he turns his back on them to sit at his computer with his back to them.
Yep. Fires up some solitaire.
Right.
Checks his emails.
It's like, all right, I'm looking at this here, and it says that you're fine. Good news.
I've got this envelope marked news, and it is... It's good news.
Woohoo.
The cancer's still gone. Belter, says Kev. You're stuck with me for a few more years yet, he says. And Abby looks like she's about to shit her pants.
Yeah, it's like she's finally realized that. It's like deep down inside, she was kind of hoping Kev would die.
Yeah, damn it, when you can't even rely on cancer. He texts Debbie, who's in Nina's roles with Carl, and the two of them agree to have drinks later to celebrate. Carl is much better at covering this. Debbie leaves and James comes in. Carl would very much like to get his hold with James, seeing as Abby's busy, but James is busy with work and suggests sometime after 6. We'll see, says Carl. And they're both kind of playing it a bit too casual with each other, and James looks like he's had about enough of this.
Yeah.
Back home, Kev can't help but mention Abby's reaction to his good news and then suggests that they get a dog to celebrate this new chance at life. No fear, says Abby, and she insists that they don't make big plans for the future. She meets Carl in the Gunnel and tells him about Kev's idea for a fresh start. She says that she loves Carl so much and she can't keep on lying to Kev. Soon, says Carl. We'll be together soon. So Abby goes back to speak to Kev, who's got the idea of renovating classic cars next instead of the dog. Oh, fuck this, says Abby. You're dumped. Kev thinks that they love each other, but when Abby doesn't agree, Kev thinks it's Carl, and he's known about Carl all along. Abby denies it, and then Jack comes in to announce that Debbie needs a pair of them, at the pub, so the discussion is postponed. But Debbie's urgent news is to celebrate Kev's news.
Yes.
They tried to get out of it,
With lots of balloons.
but
Sucking
Debbie's bought
another
balloons,
balloon.
so the two of them
Yes.
have to take a seat. When Carl shows up, Kev demands a word and drags him out the back, accusing him of pegging Abby. Carl lies like a trooper and says he's denied this a million times before and he's not so low as to slip his cancer-ridden brother's missus a length. Kev realises that he might have got this wrong and cools, telling Carl that Abby is leaving him. Abby comes out as Carl leaves, and she recounts all the times that Kev has been there for her, like with Seb and Alfie, and all the times that he told her that she'd sunk to a new low, and all the times that he'd thrown her out of her house and threatened to take her child off her.
Right, and called her names and insinuated that she was stooping Ronnie.
And how much she owes him.
Yeah.
Then stay, he says. It's over, she says. And she leaves him to it.
She
So she
gives-
leaves him in the back.
Yeah.
There's Rovers.
Yeah.
And then she goes back to the Ginnell, which leads into the back of the Rovers to meet Carl again. And he's furious that Abby broke it off with Kev and suggests that they keep their affair under wraps for a bit longer.
Right.
Abby thinks this is a great idea.
Abby says to Kev, I still love you, but I am no longer in love with you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's... Sure.
Back at room 101, Carl is on his own when James shows up looking for that action, but Carl's no longer in the mood. And again, James is like, I'm not too sure if I fancy chasing after this.
Right, yeah.
At home, Kev has told Debbie about Abby leaving him, and he's still sure that Carl is involved in this somehow. Everything was fine until he showed up, and he's seen their flirting on CCTV, and once he finds out for definite, he'll fucking kill the pair of them.
Yes. That's how much he is in love with Abby. He wants to kill her.
Yeah. On Friday, Abby has slept on the couch, and she shares an awkward morning with Kev, and that's before Debbie comes in, and she's not pleased to see her. She speaks to Kev about the situation while Abby's making herself presentable upstairs. Later, Abby runs into Tracy in that stupid coat in the cabin, and Tracy has heard about the big split and reminds Abby that Carl is a wrong 'un and she needs to stay away. Abby doesn't appreciate this and storms off. So Kev's back at the hospital, but this time to visit Tyrone, so that's why it gets its own little jingle. And they talk about his suspicions of Carl and Abby having it off behind his back. Tyrone still wants to find out who did this to him. He's lost his legs. At room 101, Abby and Carl have got their hole, which has worked something loose, so she nips off for a shite while Carl texts James, and he's begging for James to get back in touch with him. She comes back and starts on Carl about running away and starting a new life together with Alfie, but Carl is no longer keen, and it was maybe the thought of Alfie that has thrown this. Like, I don't know if I want this kid with me.
Right. And also maybe, just maybe, he's more on James's side of the fence than he wants to admit.
Well, he's certainly more interested in James now that James is playing a bit harder to get.
Right, yes. And is less interested in Abby because Abby's more or less throwing herself at him at this point. So the thrill of cheating with your brother's wife, that thrill is gone.
Yep.
Because she's broken up with Kev.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, I'm happy about that part. Because Kev was always a terrible pick for Abby. Always terrible.
I'm not sure I can even easily remember how they got together in the first place. It's all a bit of a COVID fug, I think.
Right, yeah. And relied on desperation and needing a safe place to be.
Codependency.
Yes, very much so.
Yep. Thinking on his back, Carl says that he's too worried about Debbie at the moment to leave, so instead of running away, why don't we just stick to the plan and keep lying to everyone? Later, Debbie drops into room 101 and she's surprised to see Abby coming out of the bog after another shite. What's going on with her? She claims that she's there to pay Carl his wages and then she just hurries off. Debbie asks if Carl is pegging Abby, and Carl is now brilliant at convincingly denying everything. Debbie, though, doesn't look entirely convinced.
Right, yes. And she hilariously gives Abby a hard time about what century she thinks she's working in, that she's brought a cash wage to Carl instead of, direct deposit, which is a thing now. That was pretty funny. I always like it when Debbie dresses somebody down.
Yep. So Debbie, the previous day, has heard about Kev's suspicions. And then here's Abby coming out of Carl's bathroom. Thankfully dressed, because I don't think there's any guarantee that...
Right. If she came out in the robe she was wearing earlier, then there's
no denying it.
There's
right?
no way.
But even though she is dressed and comes up with this ridiculous excuse and Carl is convincing as he denies it, Debbie's bound to think, oh, yesterday, this is the sort of thing that Kev was talking about.
Right.
I can see where he's coming from here.
Yes.
This is suspicious.
It is.
I was hoping that, in the spoiler alert show last week, you mentioned that Debbie was going to walk in on them.
Yes.
I was hoping that it was going to be walking in on them
Having
in a bit
sex.
more of a biblical sense.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That was my hope as well. But that doesn't happen. That only happens when adult children of women walk in with their mothers having sex with their newest partner. Like Todd with Eileen and George.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is it poor Kev?
I am not sympathetic to Kev at all.
He doesn't seem exactly to be falling to pieces here.
Because I hate him.
He is dreadful.
He's so dreadful.
And we didn't get to see Jack's reaction, and out of everyone...
That would be the most interesting.
Wouldn't it? Because Jack has always had such a soft spot for Abby and has appreciated having Abby around and has convinced Abby to stay in recent weeks.
Yes.
So the two of them were always very close. And we get robbed a little bit of that emotional scene. Because I think that would probably weigh quite heavily on Abby, because despite everything, she still loves Jack.
Right, yeah.
But when... And she must be kind of close to this. When Abby's now reflecting on what she's doing, she's got to be feeling a bit foolish about it, hasn't she?
I would hope so.
Because here's this sweep you off your feet romance and the secrecy of it and the nipping off to a hotel every left and right. Try to keep all your lies in order and remember what you told who and all that sort of stuff. And it's all very exciting and invigorating and it's full of lust. Not an awful lot of romance, I don't think, but
no.
Full of lust.
Yes.
And then it gets to the point where, right, let's just run away because nothing's stopping us.
Yeah.
Nah, don't think so.
No, because that's not what I'm here for.
No.
I don't want a long-term commitment. I don't want to be responsible for your kid. I just want to have sex with you because you're my brother's wife. Because
you're hot and because you were taboo, basically.
Right, yes. That's the whole appeal here.
Yeah, Abby is super close to finding this out, but unfortunately she's going to be in the middle of this. This is not going to end well for her.
Right, and once again, she's going to be the bad guy as opposed to Kev, who has been emotionally abusing her ever since they got together.
Well, that's true. All right, we'll move on to Tyrone's legs, and I'm going to have to hit this button again. Oh, my leg! Fizz is with Ty at the hospital, mentioning how difficult it's going to be when Evelyn goes back to uni, seen as Cassie's useless. When Fizz gets home, Evelyn announces that she's dropping out of the course, and Fizz finds this hard to believe because Evelyn seems to enjoy it. But Evelyn says it's too expensive and it's a young person's game, and all the whiz she's taken is giving her the scoots. That was hilarious. The mention of whiz was funny.
She also claims that she's been smoking a little of the ganja at school as well.
That was a whiz bit.
Oh, I've never heard it referred to as whiz before.
That's not. I think whiz is speed. I think.
I can understand why speed would be called whiz. That's actually kind of funny.
Yes.
Not that taking drugs is funny. Don't do drugs, kids.
Fizz is secretly relieved to have the help, but Evelyn is clearly lying and she really would be missing her course. When Fizz speaks to Roy later, he reveals how she has told him how much of a liberating experience university has been. So Fizz approaches Evelyn about this and basically orders her to go back and finish her studies and promises to let her know if she needs her help. She goes back to fill Tyrone in on all this. He's a bit knackered after physiotherapy and worried about Fizz being able to cope, but she says she'll be fine. Ty says that he'll have a word with Evelyn about this, but Fizz tells him to keep his mouth shut. Capiche? Tyrone capiches.
Tyrone capiches.
On Wednesday, Fizz is running late, making lunches for the girls and trying to arrange hospital visits. Try and make lunches for girls who can make their own lunches.
Right.
Cassie breezes in, hoping to get some tea and some toast, but judging by Fizz's expression, she just buggers off to the cafe instead. Fizz spills some orange juice just to make her morning even better. And her day gets even better still when one of Dev's dodgy plastic bags splits open on the way home and her groceries go everywhere. Maria comes to her aid, but Fizz is falling to pieces, pulls herself together quickly, and then goes to work. Later in the pub, Cassie's trying to organise an appointment with Maria to get her hair cut, but Maria starts asking loaded questions and suggests that instead of getting her hair done, maybe give Fizz a help.
Yeah, maybe.
Cassie rushes home to see Fizz burning herself on the oven and takes over, telling Fizz to tell her when she's struggling and promising to do her share. And that's as far as we get with that this week. Okay, so they overdo it with Fizz having a terrible day.
Right.
Where everything has to go wrong.
Right. Yeah.
Cassie's allowed to get a haircut though, isn't she?
Well, yeah, but it was just... And in the contrast here, when we first see Fizz, when she drops all the groceries, her hair is a mess. And then you see Cassie perfectly coiffed there in the Rovers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you know, she should be helping more. So, and it just so happened that this was Maria's in to tell Cassie she should be doing more. Right. And Cassie does the whole, oh, well, nobody asked me. If somebody had asked me to do something, I would have done it. And it's like, dude, you're in the house. You can see what needs to be done.
Read the room.
Read the room.
See Fizz rushing about everywhere and flustered and
see Evelyn sacrificing her dreams to help out, and you're already living there.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess having sex with Steve is more important than your grandchildren.
She did promise that she's going to cut back on the boffin Steve. Poor Steve, just can never catch a break.
He's a bunny. He's a bunny muppet.
But Tyrone's getting out this week or next week. So, or is he?
I don't know.
Stop doing this, you. Just pretend that you don't know until we do the spoiler alert.
That's what I said. I don't know. I don't know.
But you're no good at poker.
This isn't a poker game, and nobody can see my face but you. It's
I can see it and I have to react to it.
No, you don't have to react to it. It's just my face.
It's a nice face.
Thank you. Yours is nice as well.
Oh, really? This old thing. Let's move on to another creep for Dee Dee. On Friday, Alia, Adam, Dee Dee and Creepy Ollie are all in Nina's Rolls for coffee, and they decide to have lunch at the Bistro later because they're a couple of couples, and this is what a couple of couples do.
Right.
After the lunch, Ollie complains to Toyah about the amount of synthetic truffle oil in his food, calls it substandard. Everyone else kind of shifts in their seat uncomfortably while Ollie makes a bit of a scene, but then Ollie seems weirdly interested in Toyah and the origins of her name. Toyah explains that her mum was a fan of Toyah Wilcox.
Ah.
And Adam remembers polyester.
No, polystyrene.
Polystyrene. I knew I was going to get that wrong.
And,
out of the X-ray specs.
Right, yes.
Rest in peace.
And Alia doesn't know who polystyrene is.
No, of polyester.
And I don't think polyester was a real person.
Polyester was a band, I think. It was a punk band.
Right. Whereas polystyrene was a person.
Yeah.
Kind of like, oh God, what is that guy's name? Who's occasionally...
Oh God, it's Helen's vague guessing game. It's a guy who occasionally...
Pat Smear.
I would never have guessed Pat Smear.
Yes. Pat Smear, who said, I wanted to give myself the grossest name I could think of. And so I thought about pap smears that women have to get like on a yearly basis and said, well, that's gross, sticking a Q-tip up a vagina. So that became my name, Pat Smear. Because I don't like vaginas, I guess.
Your name's
Vaginas
Pat
are
Smear
gross.
from the Newport Smears. So Toyah has had this little bit of banter with Ollie about her name. And this, if anything, makes everything even more weird. Dee Dee decides to berate Ollie and then asks Alia and Adam if she should dump him while he's still sitting there.
Right. Hilarious.
Should I dump this prick? What do you think? Should I sharp you? What do you think? Alia diplomatically suggests that she's being hyper-vigilant after the whole Joel thing. They all go back to work, but then Ollie gets a mysterious call from someone and he promises to find out what he can, and he keeps sneaking looks at our Toyah.
Uh-oh.
I think
Okay.
I know who he's talking to.
Who is he talking to?
I think he's talking to, because we know she's coming back, everyone's favourite Eva Cakes is coming back to Corrie, and I think he's talking to either Eva Cakes or to Eva Cakes' new husband.
Why would they care about Toyah?
Because of Susie.
Oh! I forgot all about Susie. That is going to be interesting when she gets back with Susie.
Mm-hmm. Because Susie is now 7, I think, or 8.
Right. And who is Susie's real dad again? I can't remember. Oh, it was, what's his
Aidan.
name? Yeah, who died by suicide. Okay. Yeah, and Johnny is now gone too. So they couldn't write her back in for Johnny to be able to see his granddaughter once in his life. Actually, I think he went over and visited them at some
He
point.
did, in France.
Yeah. So, but still, she didn't come for the funeral.
I don't know how they're connected, but the secret squirrel stuff with Toyah, I think, has got to be at least tangentially Eva related.
But that feels really weird because why would you start dating Dee Dee if you need information on Toyah? Why wouldn't you just, go and start flirting with Toyah? Toyah's with Nick. I keep forgetting that Toyah's with Nick and Leanne is not with Nick. So that makes sense. You would have to go after somebody who is available. Leanne's available. Go flirt with Leanne. She likes him young.
Just not chatty in the morning.
Right, yes. Because let's all remember, folks, this is your monthly reminder. Leanne and Ryan had sex.
But Ryan was a little bit too chatty in the morning and it freaked Leanne out, so we're never speaking of this again.
Except once a month.
We are.
Yes, once a month. We send out this reminder.
I don't know. What else could it be with
I don't know.
Toyah?
I don't know.
Because it's got nothing to do with Baby Rose or any of that sort of stuff, because that's all now essentially forgotten about.
Yeah, again, because it has served its purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Does Imran have any family who isn't dead?
I'm sure he does.
Yeah, his mom's still alive, right? Maybe he's a private investigator that his mom hired to find out if Toyah really did kill her son. Because she did.
That would be better than the Eva Cakes thing.
Or maybe out of all reason, Ollie is somehow associated with the racists and is keeping an eye on Toyah because of, what she and Spider did to put the racists in jail.
I don't know. I think I like the first two more.
Yeah.
Ollie's a creep.
Ollie's weird.
I called this from his first scene, much like I did with Joel.
And it's like, really, guys? Really? We're going to give Dee Dee another shitty boyfriend? We can't give her a nice one in between?
That's why it's called Another Creep for Dee Dee.
Yikes.
Our penultimate storyline
Yikes on spikes.
is courting the Undertaker. On Friday, Jenny bumps into George and Glenda and asks George out for lunch. George, though, has a busy day of cleaning ahead at the Undertaker's as they're down a cleaner and they're having problems hiring one. Jenny pretends this is fine but huffs and puffs. And she turns up at the Undertaker's later with her feather duster and pinny ready to help him clean, but George already has a cleaner now, and it's Christina in marigolds. So Jenny and Christina, dressed as cleaners, slag each other off for a bit while George buries his head in his hands until Jenny leaves. Afterwards, George and Christina go to the pub while Jenny fizzes and tells Glenda that George isn't interested in her, has friend zoned her. Glenda, who doesn't like Christina either, says we'll see about this, and while George and Glenda are comparing their serious faces, Glenda comes over and tries to encourage George into participating in Monday's speed dating at the Rovers that she's just made up and drawn a poster for.
Right, which Christina insults.
George isn't interested, but Christina sees Jenny's furtive looks across the bar, puts two and two together, and suggests that she and George both sign up. It starts at 5 p.m, like all good speed dating sessions at pubs do.
Right, yeah. Well, that will encourage people to have dinner there as well. They're going to be swimming in hot pots. And also, let's not forget, basically everybody who's going to come to this event is like 50 years or older. So they like to start early.
Tracy in her coat poo-pooed the idea. So did Shona, because she's now got morning sickness now that she's pregnant, and that's out in the open. George, I keep on forgetting that George and Christina aren't actually
Dating.
going out with each other at the moment.
No, they're skirting around it.
Mm-hmm.
Skirt. I still don't trust Christina.
No.
And it's weird because she hasn't actually really done anything untoward.
For a few months.
Yeah. And, except for being kind of snarky about Glenda's poster, she hasn't done anything really unkind.
And it was a shit poster. Because it was made in 5 minutes.
Yeah. I'd like to see Christina do better. So I'm sad for Jenny. But I'm not too sad for Jenny because Jenny has also done really shitty things to people like Christina has. Mm-hmm. She's just not as overt a villain as Christina is. So neither one of them deserve George, in my estimation.
No, I think you're right.
So,
and George is he's too needy as well. In fact,
true.
He's probably the neediest out of the lot of them.
Yes. And
once he has something, or the promise of something, or even the hint of a promise of something, that's all he can see. Because he can't see Jenny, who's, for all intents and purposes, thrown herself at him.
Right.
Because there's a chance with Christina.
I don't know.
It doesn't quite.
It feels like the chance with Christina is a very strong chance. Mm-hmm.
But so's the Jenny.
Good odds. And he seems to enjoy Christina more than he enjoys Jenny's company.
I know, isn't that strange though?
I can see it.
Maybe he knows Jenny too well. Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah.
That she has been friend zoned.
Right. And that Christina has this kind of unknown but kind of dangerous factor to her. Mm-hmm. And he's thinking, oh, she's not nearly as bad as everybody claimed, sort of thing.
Our final storyline tonight is the most racist careers fair in Manchester. On Monday, Bernie is home from wherever it was she was, and almost instantly seems to sense that Asha isn't happy at the moment. Dev books a table at Speed Dial to celebrate Bernie's return, and Asha doesn't want to be a gooseberry, so she leaves him to it. Bernie also says that she's been living off pot noodles, which makes me think that she's been holidaying in my flat in 2011. Later at the shop, Ryan has a proposition for Bernie to help him staff a careers fair at the Rape Hotel. This is his little project.
Yes.
Bernie, though, is still in holiday mode. She asks about Asha, but Dev says no one tells him nothing. Back home later, Bernie is further concerned when she finds Asha moping on the couch, so the two of them agree that they'll both help Ryan at the career thing on Friday. Bernie goes to tell Ryan this, and as he's putting up posters in the pub for the career thing, the person running it seems oddly familiar. On Wednesday, Dev is curious to know what Asha's up to. Fuck all, says Asha, still in her jammies on the couch. Dev wants to have lunch with her, so Asha reluctantly agrees, and they decide to go to the rape hotel for a change. After Asha is chatting to Ryan about the jobs fair tomorrow, she sees a woman setting up for it, and it's only bloody Naomi.
Right. The racist drunk.
Who spat at her and threw a bottle at her.
Right.
A few weeks ago.
Yes. Looking a bit better than she did when she was falling down drunk.
Yeah, but
it's still
clearly
her.
her. Yeah.
Yes.
She doesn't recognise Asha, but Asha recognises her as a woman who attacked her during her shift the other week, spat at her and abused her.
Yeah, I'm not believing I'm not believing at all that she doesn't remember.
She remembers a paramedic. She remembers that much at the very least.
Right.
So if Asha's saying, I'm the paramedic that came to you, then Naomi knows exactly what she's talking about.
Yeah.
Asha confronts her, but Naomi plays dumb, but then threatens that if Asha breathes a word of this, she'll sue. And it's clear Naomi either does remember Asha or has had this happen plenty of times before. Asha's shocked. She's still up to high dough when she gets home, and she explains all of this to Bernie, along with the backstory, and Bernie is ready to kill. Asha urges calm. This is not Bernie's fight. She doesn't want anyone finding out about this, or she'll end up being the one talked about. Bernie eventually agrees, but insists on telling Dev and demands that the police are informed. So Asha agrees, but has a panic attack in the police station, and she's about to leave until Kit sees her. And he kind of metaphorically puts an arm around her and asks her what's wrong and stuff.
Right, because they're brother and sister now.
Yeah. This show's so weird. So Asha gives her statement.
At least the show acknowledges that what happened in the hospital wasn't a legal marriage. Because Dev says we're going to get legally married
we'll get to
next
that
week.
bit, yeah.
The show is weird, though.
But it's nice that Kit can care.
Yes.
I like that. And I like particularly that Kit cares about Asha.
Yes.
Because we care about Asha.
Correct.
Because she's brilliant.
Yes. And she needs a brother around to make up for the giant Addie hole in her life.
Mm-hmm. That was another bit that I kind of skipped over, that Dev basically says to her, I need you more than ever now that Addie's not here, that you're my only kid that's here.
Right.
Well, her and Dev's other 6 or 7 children that he never talks about.
Right, yes. And also his stepchildren, Gemma and Kit. And I guess Chesney by marriage. And his now grandchildren, the Welsh Quints.
Quads.
I always want to add an extra one. I always want there to be 5 of them. I don't know why.
Oh, poor Gemma's wig.
We don't see anything of Gemma's wig this week. We only get Chesney this week in his Where's Waldo sweater. His Where's Waldo or 1930s cartoon prisoner sweater.
Do you know, if you were to ask me with a light shining in my face right now, I would tell you that I remember nothing about Chesney this week. I don't even remember him being in it. And I might have mentioned his name.
Yeah.
I don't remember that either.
Yeah, it's kind of hilarious that you don't remember a thing about, Chesney being concerned about Tyrone and asking Fizz if she needs help and stuff.
Not even the hint of a memory. So Asha gives her statement to another copper, but Kit thanks her for doing the right thing and reporting this cow. He'll do what he can to give her justice. And let's face it, he can do quite a bit to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
She gets home to find Dev in a Dev mood and has made a pea risotto. He wants to know why she didn't tell him about the attack, and she tells him about the statement, and he wants to start gathering witnesses. There is no other witnesses, she says. There's only me.
Right, yeah, because the other paramedic was over taking care of the other drunk.
Mm-hmm.
The drunk who is completely passed out.
On Friday, Dev has taken Asha out for a fancy breakfast at Nina's Rolls. Top's grand, man, says Dev. But they have a nice wee chat about Dev's mum and her transition to the UK. I thought that was lovely. I enjoyed that wee bit of back history about them. Dev insists that he and Bernie are 100% behind Asha, but then Asha sees the poster with Naomi on it and she freezes. Back home, and Bernie has learned that Naomi has been released after questioning without charge. Kit has told her that they're building a case. Dev thinks the universe might step in to get Asha justice here, and this gives Bernie an idea. So she goes to the rape hotel and speaks to Ryan, who refuses to cancel the careers fair at such short notice. But then Bernie sees that Naomi has left her laptop unlocked and unattended while she's nipped off for a shite.
Hilarious.
Summer, Nina and Amy are all at the careers fair wondering why the fuck Bernie's there.
Yes.
But Bernie is interfering with Naomi's laptop.
Yes.
So later, as Naomi's given her presentation, she hits next on her PowerPoint and the careers fair slide disappears and an I am a massive racist slide appears next, which doesn't match the theme or the layout of the other slide. For some reason...
But it looks better, though, because it's not quite so busy. And you can read it. It's in a clear font.
Well, it's the only thing that's on the slide.
Right, yes, but as opposed to the beginning slide that was like the title page slide, which had far too much on it.
For some reason, Bernie accepts responsibility for this and explains what happened between Naomi and Asha in front of the whole room.
Yes.
The young team are recording it all on their phones.
Which is the reason why they're there.
Yes. As Naomi denies everything and promises Bernie will regret this. Ryan, poor Ryan.
Poor Ryan.
This is his event.
He's put so much effort into this event.
He has to cancel it.
Yeah.
But before it's even started.
He's like, all right, yeah, we're done here. Adios.
Back home, Bernie is over the moon, but Asha is fucking furious.
Yes, she is.
She's seen the videos and is mortified that Bernie fought her battles like a white saviour, and it wasn't asked for. In fact, the opposite was asked for. Asha storms off. Bernie explains all this to Dev, who thinks it's lovely that Bernie stood up for Asha, but then there's a ring at the door, and it's Naomi to tell everyone that she's going to sue Bernie for defamation. Asha catches wind of this and is worried that Naomi now knows where she lives. And Asha's really worried about this, and nobody acknowledges what she says.
Right.
This woman who spat at me, racially abused me.
Right. Threw a bottle at me.
Attempted to assault me with a bottle.
Yeah.
Now knows where I live.
Yeah.
And nobody mentions it. This was a great detail as well.
Yes, it was. How does she find them again?
Because Bernie told them their names. Because why?
Right.
So a quick little look up on Vogel, and that's all it took.
I guess so.
I guess it works like that. But Naomi's standing there saying, all right, who did this? Who did this? And Bernie doesn't have to say anything here.
No, but she wants to, because she wants to tell everybody why this woman is a racist.
Mm-hmm. But wouldn't it have been just leave it unsaid? You've already ruined the whole thing.
Yes. The deed has been done, but she just wants to make sure that she gets credit for it because she's not thinking clearly.
No, because she gives her name and address and her telephone number out.
I was going to say, and her social security number, but she doesn't have a social security number.
Her national insurance number.
Correct.
Did you just say correct?
Yes. Am I not correct? I mean,
Are you correct? I'm very much know I'm correct.
Okay, good. And I am adding my assurance that yes, you are indeed correct. Not that you have asked for it, not that you need it, but I'm giving it anyway because I love you.
Oh, and because you've said that, there goes the thing I was going to say. Dev and Bernie apparently are getting legally married next week, so Naomi suing them could mean that she gets everything they own. You've made everything worse, says Asha. Good job, ass. She goes to the rape hotel to speak to Naomi and begs her to drop the suit. Naomi will if Asha drops her complaint with the police. And Asha doesn't think she can do this, so she goes out and she meets Dev, and Dev makes a big deal about how much of a hole this is going to put in them, so Asha goes back to Naomi and tells her that the charges have now been dropped. Naomi makes a big deal about maybe still suing Bernie after all, but she drops her complaint too, and she was just wanting to be an asshole to Asha.
Yes.
Back home, Dev and Bernie are thrilled that they're off the hook, so Asha doesn't explain what she had to do to make that happen, and when she leaves for her shift, she has another panic attack. The poor wee mite. And that's how we end this week's episodes.
Yes. Hoofed.
This was a good story.
Yes.
I like this. Even with Bernie being far too open with vital pieces of information here.
Yes.
I really like the fact that the show has remembered that this happened.
Right.
And it wasn't just maybe it would have been a better would have been more impactful if that was just a thing that happened. But the thing that happened here has more of a consequence to it.
Yes.
It makes us remember it, so I guess that's better.
Right.
But I guess the abuse that our frontline workers get, so many of them are just one-offs and unfortunately not isolated incidents.
No, and it seems to be something that is growing worse because you can't get on social media anymore without a recording of some just completely unhinged person just going at someone in the, in the service industry, whether it's, medical or McDonald's.
Right.
It seems like more and more there are these people who think that they're owed by these people, that they can treat these people any way they want to because they perceive it as, I pay your salary. It's like, well, you don't really.
Right.
You don't eat at McDonald's enough to make one person who works their salary, because if you did, you'd be dead by now. But, it's like when we go to our local hospitals, there are signs all over the place saying we have a
zero tolerance.
No tolerance for our staff being abused by patients. We will not allow that to happen. And you got to think, there's a reason why these signs are up here.
Yeah, how many times has this happened for that sign to be necessary?
Right.
Is kind of sad. But yeah, I'm glad that we are shining a light on this a little bit more, and I'm glad that that this isn't just a random drunk awful person. We're learning more about Naomi, and everything that we learn about her is just as awful. But what it is doing is giving Asha and Tanisha Gorey a chance to shine here, and I think she's handling it superbly well.
Absolutely.
Bits of fun in here as well, because Dev's been Dev, and Dev and Bernie are really, really good together still, I think. And there's the underlying sadness of this family that has been split apart because of Addie leaving, and no one's really found out how they're all handling that yet. They're still trying to come to terms with it, and that part of it's interesting, and how it's almost the elephant in the room that they're not talking about, and when they start to talk about it, they never seem to get anywhere with it, which I think is also really interesting. So this family, and as you mentioned, with the relationships through marriage, this now hugely extended family, and,
yes,
and how the tentacles of this kind of spread everywhere,
right?
It just makes for, I think, really interesting viewing. It was like what was the bit in the classic episode? In the classic episode that we did, not that I'm plugging this for people that sign up to Patreon or whatever, but there's a bit where this person knows this person who's married to this person whose relationship with this, there's the thread of the relationships goes so deep. Even for an episode in 1970, everything is so intertwined. And I like how this still happens. Maybe it doesn't happen as often as we'd like it, but here we've got it happening with the Alahans and Bernie's family, and how all that sort of knits together and comes together. I really feel heart sorry for Asha. And she's the one that's really lost out on all of this.
Yes.
Everyone else is happy, and she's the one that's
not happy.
Who didn't do a bad thing to anybody.
No.
And she's the one who's paying for this.
Yeah.
So I hope that and one would imagine that there's going to be some justice for her at some point. But can't come quick enough, really. What did you think of this?
Yeah, I think this is the best bit of this week.
Mm-hmm.
And I really appreciate that the show doesn't let Bernie off the hook. I think it's great that they have this moment where Asha calls her a white savior.
That I was not expecting.
Uh-huh.
It's what I'm thinking,
Right.
but I'm not really expecting the show or a character in the show to actually say it.
Right. Yeah. Because let's just remember how many times the show has dropped the ball when it comes to racism stories in the past. Because we still haven't gotten a resolution about Dee Dee's experience. Not a satisfactory one. She and the person who racially profiled her were supposed to team up to change the world, and then we don't see that happen. It was terrible that that's the way they went. Don't get me wrong. But if they're going to go that way, they got to stick the landing. And they haven't done that yet. And it makes me scared that that's never going to be done.
Racism on Coronation Street tends to be a racist person or a racist act. And it seems to want to talk about racism on a more societal level.
Right.
But also feels like it doesn't quite know how to do that.
Correct.
Here, having Asha mention the white savior line.
Right. Yeah, because I don't think Bernie ever really thought that that's what she was doing. She was
Never
just
crossed her
like,
mind.
that's my stepdaughter. I'm going to protect her. I'm going to defend her. Because she would do the same thing for Kit and she would do the same thing for Gemma. And she doesn't think about this other aspect because she's never had to think about this other aspect to it. She's never had to think, am I being a white savior about this?
And how's this going to affect Asha, who has clearly asked for this not to happen?
Right.
So I'm going to go against her wishes.
Right. Which is going to potentially put her in harm's way in ways I haven't even thought of because I have never been a brown woman.
And Bernie recognises this.
Yes.
Asha is described as a woman of colour.
Yes.
So it's in Bernie's head. It's just not followed through.
Right.
There's further thoughts that she should be having about this.
Right. Exactly.
But I think feels like it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
To add in a little bit more of the societal and the more nuanced aspects of.
Right. Because the show doesn't want you to think that her heart wasn't in the right place, because it was. She just didn't think about how her actions are going to affect Asha and her job and her life.
And maybe that's something that Dev should have been able to explain to her. Because Dev has had a few moments where he's described his experiences of racism.
Let's not forget, Dev didn't realize there was anything wrong with Asha the whole time. The whole time, Dev has not clocked that there's something wrong with Asha. It took Bernie coming home, who hasn't seen Asha in weeks because she was on vacation, to take one look at the girl and say, what is wrong with her? Something's up. And Dev is clueless. So, Bernie is at least partially self-aware, whereas Dev is completely not self-aware about anything.
All right, well, that was the week that was Coronation Street. Helen, tradition dictates that I ask you now, what was your moment of the week?
I think it's that. I think it's Asha being angry at Bernie for being a white savior.
I think so too. That's
Yeah.
our
Moment of the week.
last week's moment of the week went down pretty well.
Good. Where was Dorian this week? We are in that
Dorian?
house- Not Dorian.
That's a scale.
It's also a name.
For Doran.
Yeah, where's Dorian this week?
It was his sleepy times.
He was asleep the whole time. Is there something wrong with that kid?
He misses Romania.
He's Lello.
Lelo.
He's got jaundice. Yeah.
Your boring moment of the week.
Chesney and his sweater.
So boring I don't even remember it. That's our
Boring moment of the week.
I really need to pay more attention to Chesney. There's a sentence I thought I would never say.
It's like when I said the other week, Dakota Johnson's good in that movie, actually.
I find myself saying that quite a bit lately.
Yeah.
Yay!
So we're on to our poll now. Weekly, I ask our... There's got to be a better way of expressing that. Oh well. Every week I ask our Twitter followers to rate the show in terms of yay, meh, or zzz.
And it's only because there is no polling system on any of the other social media platforms that we're at.
This might be the thing that's keeping me on Twitter.
I think it is.
The votes this week are zzz, 40.6%, meh, 44.9%, and yay, 14.5%.
What?
This is the lowest yay score of the year so far.
Which is so weird because I didn't mind this week.
This isn't the worst episode of the year.
No, I didn't mind this week at all. I thought it was fine. You know, was it the most exciting? I guess not, but it was fine. It kind of feels like there are other people who are bored with Abby and Carl having sex, which is nice. It's nice that we're not alone in that.
But this is a week that had a good chunk of Swarlet in it.
Yeah, but it also had Becky.
Poor Becky.
Poor Becky.
Laws says, can't really say as I haven't been watching since Monday. I think I'm finally breaking a lifetime habit. Well, that's quite sad, Laws. I hope not. Bernadette responds to that, I now record so I can fast forward Theo and his Lego brick kids. They haven't got a personality between them.
That's true.
That is true.
And I love that. I'm going to refer to them as Lego Millie and Lego Max for the rest of their duration on the show.
His name isn't Max.
That's right. It's something else that begins with an M, but he's Miles.
There we go.
Millie and Miles. Danielle and Theo are both lying. Neither one of them love those kids. They named them Millie and Miles.
I wish one of them was called Chardonnay and the other one was called Jeff. I'd like that.
Right, yeah. And give Bernie her due. She knows how to name a couple of twins.
God damn it. Although she only calls one of them Twin. They're called twins and one of them's called Gemini. The twin.
Right, yes.
And the other one's called Apollo,
Apollo,
which has nothing to do with the star sign at all.
No, but they're both based in mythology, I guess.
Anyway, we don't let all those scores or comments influence our scores. Of course we don't, Helen.
No.
What would we be if we did that? So, what is your score out of 10 this week?
Well, like I said, this week didn't bother me at all, really.
I thought it was fine.
I thought it was fine. Was it the best week ever? No, but it's also, as you said, not the worst week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going 6.5.
I was going to go 5.5.
Oh, interesting. Interesting that I'm higher than you. That doesn't happen very often.
Not very often.
No.
I was fairly meh on it. So 5.5 seems reasonable.
Well, see, for me, meh is better than being just violently outraged by. I would rather have a meh week than a week that.
This is a week that Noah
hurts
died.
Me. Yeah, off screen, and we're not quite sure whether or not she's telling the truth yet.
Still not entirely sure, but
No.
I've added it to the in memoriam, so I don't want to take it out.
No. Noah was so one note anyway. You know?
Well, it's no great loss. All right, let's wrap this one up then. This episode was brought to you with thanks to our friends of the podcast. Daisy, French Helen, Pickles, DT, Wendy, Noel, Canadian Helen, Christy, Shandy, English Victoria, Aurora Yvonne, Heather Westerfield, Russell Whiting, Jackie B, Brittany Porter, Laurie Anna, Tina, Stephen, Leah, Tara J, Fiona B, Canadian Jennifer, Josephine Otingi, Anne Greenwood, Trish R, Sarah Purbrick, Ali Q, Hunker Munker, Darren, the artist formerly known as Seal My Fridge, Pamela, Marsh JT, Tom Ambrose, Christopher Anstey, Terry in LA, Joe T, Corey Dales, Matthew McKenney, Ozzy Ali,
Oi.
Welsh Emma, Matthew S, and Rachel B. Thank you ever so much, everybody. We very much appreciate your support.
Yes, thank you very much.
If you've ever sabotaged a PowerPoint, write in to tell us about it. We're the talk of the street at gmail.com, and we're at Corrie Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. Or you can reach us the old-fashioned way, the talk of the street, PO Box 12, Eden Rapids, Michigan 48827. Our spoiler show will be available shortly after this one, and in our October's classic, we'll be talking about episode 970. Get access to this exclusive content by becoming a friend of the podcast at ko-fi.com, that's ko-fi.com/the talk of the street, or patreon.com/the talk of the street. Check out voggle.co.uk for links to our merch store, YouTube channel, and blog. And if you're so inclined, please leave a rating and a review on the iTunes or your podcast provider of choice. And be sure to check out our pop culture sister podcast, The List of Lists.
Let the gays be sad.
Thanks for making it to the end of another episode, and we will be back next week with more
Talk of the street.
Talk of the Street.
Bye.
Cheerio.